Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm back with the Stitchery swap and I have a completed piece under here. So if you don't want to see your piece, you know who you are, look away now because I'll show everyone else and then I'll put it to one side and I'll start the next one. So here we go. So here it is finished. So I ended up stitching all the flowers, seed stitching around the perimeter of this little quadrant here. Did some running stitch through that little piece of camphor quilt, framed that out with a bit of blue, just sort of felt like it balanced it when I did this stitching here, and then meandered my way through here with just clusters of beads and sequins and sparkly things. It sort of just really lifts the pieces, I think, when you start adding all the sparkle. I've got the little hexie here with some Florentine paper. So these cream pieces in the back, they're from Rachel, Italy. A vintage little piece here from England. Florentine paper says all sorts of, a little bit of crocheting here, all sorts of little treasures in here. I like how the blanket stitch worked in well here. It sort of makes the piece feel like it's floating to a degree. My seam allowance is a little bit out here. It's a little bit tight, so I hope that's not going to be a problem. Hope there's still enough to either stitch it into something or tuck that under. And the hexies come over the edge, so I hope that's going to be okay. What else was I going to point out? Oh, the embroidery here. I end up adding the pale blue to the center of that embroidery. It just didn't quite blend with everything. It was a different blue, but the blue is similar to that, but not quite. So I thought by putting in that pale blue, it picked up this over here. And then with the yellow, I drifted the yellow from up here into here as well. So it sort of just felt like I merged it all together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'm ready to do another one. So I'll put this one aside. It's ready to go in the mail at the end of August. So the next inspiration that was sent to me, as you know, my little group, I've given them some colours to make my pieces in, so I've asked them to give me some colours to make their little pieces in. So being that I'm still in all the blues, but slightly different, the last one was a lot fresher. This one is a lot more subtle, so I'm sort of feeling like more creams and into the softer blues, less of that dark blue. See, I just can't see any dark blue there. Maybe in the back of that wallpaper with that little girl, and her dress is nearly a denim-y blue. So I think I'll do a more subtle version of that. And I'm sort of picking up on gold tones here, where I use more blues and whites and a pearl, but a white pearl. So I think this one I'd go more of an antique pearl. So that's the plan. All right, that's our inspiration. So just off out of shot here, I have a container of doily bits. Just to the top of me, I have some French pieces. I've grabbed a cluster of fabrics, and then I also picked up this. Now, these tones were the ones I used in my Christmas advent calendar, and I sort of felt like there would be some fabrics in here that sort of matched. Now when I bring that other one back, you can see that's just different again. Like, it's amazing from blue to blue, and then you could do it again and again and you'd get a completely different look each time. I think there should be some calico here. So let's get our square sorted, remembering that we have to do a 12 centimetre by 12 centimetre square. So I'm just getting rid of some of these little frayed bits. They're a little bit out of hand. That's it. Okay. Now let's grab that ruler 12 by 12. Better check that it is 12 this way. Yes, it is. Excellent. So we should be able to get the next piece out of here. Okay, number 2. Lovely. There's our square. Now I had a template that I made which was 10 by 10, which is the actual space that I'm to stay within. That way you get that nice seam allowance around the outer edge. So I'm just going to grab my pen, and that's my boundaries. No further than that. This colour goes a little bit on the whoopee side. Give it a little tug that way. Okay, so first of all, I want to include some of this nice fabric from Italy. It's just so thick and it's like a hemp. So that's a definite. That has to go somewhere. Now, this popped out on my desk as I was sort of looking for something. I thought maybe that's got potential. And that one and this one. I sort of like this guy as well. Big old piece of, it's like a matting. I like that edge. It's got a real thick feel about it. Like they've woven, oh, look at that, when you pull it apart, they've woven quite a thick piece of wool or cotton into that. So it's got quite a texture about it. Hang on, let's actually back it up a bit before I get too crazy. Let's see if we can find a feature. I need to pull my sleeves up. This big black fluffy jumper is catching everything. Let's have a look through here and see if we can find something that would be my floral feature. Do like that stripe. Don't need dark blue. What's this? Okay. Hello. That cut down. What else is here? Just going to fussy cut this little guy out. This has got potential of embroidering these little flowers. I love how these pieces, you just never know where you're going to end up. You just throw a heap of things in front of you and then just have a play, just to arrange them. Can be tricky working in a small space, but I think if you just fiddle, something usually comes, you know. What other colours are in here that are soft? That's pretty. That's good. They're all fairly dark. Yeah, okay. That's definitely got potential. Could do with a bit more beige. No, I don't know, just cut a piece off. That's not the easiest to embroider through, so I nearly need to keep it up. And I like that little ratty edge there. I need to keep it up out of the way. And it's just like a bit of a soft background. Do like that stripe. It nearly fits. I haven't got any of this in yet. I don't know. Gosh, you could be here forever with me. let's get this guy in, a piece of this. It's an unusual fabric. You just never know where these things are going to go and how it's going to come together. Okay, I like that. I like those little morsels too. Maybe I can have the flowers coming up. Just not feeling it yet. I think the thing is to get your background down. Just pop your fabrics down, start layering. It's actually prettier that way. I don't know. It's just not jumping at me yet. When in doubt, add lace. When in doubt, add a doily. Certainly got some interesting little spots for things. So I think these little flowers can certainly fit in there just right. I think if that come through there. What else? I'm just scanning around. Maybe I can get some bit of, just looking at these laces and things. Maybe I can get a couple of those in there. That's the crocheted element. Pop that there. I feel like I could do something along here. Now I'm going to need something there. I did have some spare pieces of yo-yo. I wonder if that's the right colour. Not digging it. Let's just put a little bit of this guy in the mix. Just as a splash of that blue. Maybe it can come in here, like so. I need something up the top there. Or do I pull that fabric up a little bit? I like the tones. The tones are right. I feel like I could do with something else. I'm just looking at these doilies here beside me. Maybe I bring a doily into it. Are these flowers right? Maybe it's the flowers that aren't right. There's a satin rose here. Oh, it's too blue. I like that as the little, like a little crest coming from the bottom. I like that. We're sort of getting this. What do we do there? What do we do there? Let's have another look through this fabric that has images on it. Where is it? This one. Is there something better? Not really. Maybe I've got to cut this down and just have a few in a line. That's better. It's not such a blob. We pull them back away and then bring him into there. Maybe we've got to make them more individual elements. My piece is slowly being destroyed here. There'll be nothing left by the time I've finished. Tuck them into there. That's not bad. And then maybe, is there even one left? Not really. Maybe I can do some additional stitching, or let's go back to this fabric here. Oh, there they are again. Or is that slightly different? No, that's them again. I wonder if I was to pinch him out again. Probably should have left it with the leaves and the whole. But that would have been a bit boring. It's nice to create a whole new cluster of something from something. I sort of feel like that up there needs to actually stay free of anything. It needs to move over too, because I'm creeping outside that 10 centimetre barrier, which is trouble. I like that. I do like that. I feel like I've got a lot of layers happening, but it might need just a little something else. I'll just trim this little guy up. Maybe he's got to come up here. I suppose it'll all depend. You see, I don't mind that, having him up there in that top corner. I sort of feel like I need something soft coming out from behind them. I'm just looking at I'm just looking at the, I might just pop that under there. I like that rolled edge look there. Instead of cutting it, just roll it in under so we get this raised chunky look. But yeah, I wonder if I could get a little piece of something. It's got to be, I think, dainty. Oh, hello, what's this? Is that? No, it's too overpowering. I wonder, do I have a look through these and maybe some little half piece. No, those dogs. Just settle down, you two. Now they're looking at me in the window. The neighbours are all out the front playing and my pair are like, want to be there. Oh, goodness me. Sorry, guys. That would be going straight through your ears. Oh, I like that. So I'm sort of getting that cluster. Just one moment, guys. I think I'm... Oh, no. Here they come again. They're so excited. They just want to be out there playing. Obnoxious things they are. I like that. It feels like it's connected to that. We've got a pop of something different. We've got these beautiful old fabrics. We don't really see this guy much. So whether... it doesn't matter, I don't think. It's just a little hint of texture. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's met our brief. And then I'll do a little bit of embroidery. Yeah. So let's get some pins into position to hold it. Yep. So it'll be a case of invisible stitch it all down, embroider these little flowers just to add a little, you know, more texture to them. And I sort of feel like it might be just the center of them. Maybe I can bring in something a bit golden or creamy through there. Oops. I do like the feeling of all of that there, but I've lost it a little bit. Get those little bits out. Yeah, that's nice. Just some little straggly cottony bits coming out. That's cute. Well, I like it. I hope she likes it. It's so fun having a bit of a colour scheme too. That piece is upside down. Which do I prefer? I sometimes prefer my crocheting upside down because sometimes the back is more soft and gentle looking than the front. The fronts can have a lot of knots and ridges in crocheting. So I do like it often on the other side. Okay. Little pop of something there. Bring that blue across. we go. So a lovely little combination of bits and pieces, and I think I can certainly enhance that with some stitching. I sort of feel like I could easily go into the center of those flowers, maybe even with a beige stitch, and then maybe some gold in the center of that to bring the gold into it. I'm not sure. I guess the next thing is you start stitching it all down so that you eliminate your pins, and in the process you really start to look at your construction and decide, well, what does it really need next? What would enhance it? So I just love invisible stitching just for that reason. That is creeping up a little bit on my boundaries. I might let it hang there, and if it needs to be trimmed back, it can be. Oh, it's so hard to stay within the boundaries, isn't it? Probably don't need such a big piece of it in behind there, but it doesn't matter. Does not matter. Sometimes you've got a layer to get more layers, you know what I mean? Keep building it up. Now I might put my invisible stitch into the center of each of those flowers. I think it'll be pretty safe that'd be a good spot to. Just wondering if that flower needs to actually come up. A little bit more. Get rid of that pin. Get rid of that pin. Sort of like it back in the distance, to be honest. Like back there. Yeah, I think where I had it was right. I just sort of feels like it's weaving through all of the crocheted elements. Like it's a bit of a viney type flower, and it's sort of popping up everywhere. You know those vines that are on houses and they weave their way through the garden, and you'll be looking at something in a garden and suddenly you see that same plant again, and it's literally just entangling itself through other structures. I really love it when gardens get that, because it's like, oh, you again. You're over here as well. It's like years and years of garden to get that type of feeling, to get that depth. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Happy with that. I like those little crocheted pieces popping through. So just working my way back down through the center, running out of thread fast. Might be able to make it to this little flower here. Is he in exactly the right position? Let's just have a little play with him before we decide. I'm going to bring him out a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So let's put a stitch into him. Okay. And then I might just do one more stitch. Oh, I've got a little bit of length there. I might be able to scoot across to this side and catch that one over here. That would probably be enough. I hope there's enough blue in this. I know it's cream and pale Gosh, I hope I'm even on camera, guys. I tell you, this YouTube filming business, you just analyse everything. The other YouTubers will know what I mean. You just, is it right? Is it enough? Have you done enough? You know, I'm trying to take all that pressure off myself, and it is what it is. And if, you know, you either like my style and my way of creating, I guess that's a big part of it. Do you like how the YouTube person communicates their way of creating and things like that? So there's definitely favourites out there, and there's just some you don't connect with, and that's fine too. It's like your friends, isn't it? Some people you just really connect with, and others, yeah, occasionally. I think that's life. Okay. Happy with that. Can get rid of that pin as I make my way across the bottom here. I'll need to put a bit of time into that bottom edge of that motif, making sure it's tucked in tight. So I might just avoid it with these stitches at this point, and that's something I can do off camera. I've definitely got some pale blue beads. I've got some real antique-y, creamy pearls too, so I think they'd be really pretty. So we might pull a few of those bits and bobs out and start building our little stash of goodies to go with it. I've got a lovely range of colours within my little cluster of ladies, so it's really good. Would have been a bit disappointing if they were all the same. It's nice to be able to, you know, go through your stash and think of someone and pull out some little treasures. I better knot that off. I've got a knot here somewhere that's causing a little bit of a grab. Okay. So the knot's now at the eye of the needle. Just had one of those busy days today. It's in the afternoon. I don't know, I got up this morning and just stuff started happening. Life jumped in the way. And then I sort of started doing housework. And I thought, oh, well, no video today. And I thought, no, I just felt like I needed to come into the room and do something. And this is perfect for that. Just a little something. Just enough to make a big mess on your table. But it just gives me that feeling like I've done something creative. I hate days when I don't do something because I just feel like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain to my husband too. He's like, oh, you're always in there doing something. I'm like, I know, and if I don't, I feel like I haven't had a bit of an adrenaline rush. I don't know, maybe that's over-exaggerating. Probably is. But it's hard to explain. I guess we've all got to have an addiction. I don't smoke or drink. Oh, very little drink. Very, very little drink. So I think my addiction is my craft and food, sugar. Okay, all right, I've got quite a few addictions. When you start thinking about it. Now I'm thinking. Okay, that's looking good. I really like this. I've got a lot of layers of the crocheting elements, which is so me, and I hope it's the receiver of this square's likings. I think so. I sort of feel that it is. There's those dogs going again. It's those little white fluffy things walking down the street, having a great time with the kiddies. And my two are like, why can't we be out there? So they'll race from one side to the other side. They can't get to the front yard. We've got side fences. So they're not being obnoxious, at least to the walkers, because there's nothing worse than dogs going at you through the fence line. Oh. And I think my two would do that. They'd be like, please, please, can we join in? So they're in the backyard doing their little run to try and keep them away from people so that they aren't pains in the neck. Okay, I feel pretty confident that I've got all of those elements nice and secure. So I might just end that off. Now there's some threads, or what am I going to do next? I might get this actually sorted down here, because I like to do it, you know, if I can, in stages, so that it's all, there's this little piece came out as well. This beautiful piece of cotton. I might try and make sure that is stitched in as well, just to add that fibrous element to it, because I really like it. Just, and you wouldn't think that it actually comes out of this fabric. These are like these classic placemats. They were everywhere there in the 90s. And I even think I've got some in the cupboard, but I picked this one up, was a piece of it in a pack at Vinnie's or wherever it was, the thrift store. And it was only because it was actually cut that I noticed it had this very unusual fibrous feeling. So it's actually been quite a staple in my room because it's just interesting. Now I could cut that, but I'm not going to. I'm going to tuck it under so that I get a bit of a ropey edge to my little piece. Where'd my thread go? I really should tidy up. I've got a hang of a mess here. Those jelly rolls, once you release them, knots in there. So yeah, I just want to, I'm going to stitch this. I hope I'm not going too far over the edge. My goodness, girl, you can't even stay within the 10 centimeters. It's inhibiting my creativeness. At least too, I've got some spare flowers. So if I find that it just needs a little extra something, I've got a few extra little flowers to stitch, because I could probably drift them down here to get, we'll see. The house across the road have been away in their caravan with the kids for most of the school holidays, and they've just arrived home, and I think that's actually what my pair of galahs are all worked up about. They can hear the kids are back, and there's a lot of movement as the van's being reversed in the driveway, and there's voices, and neighbours have come out to see how it all went. So I think that's why there's a bit of a ruckus from my pair of galahs. I wonder if I lift that. Yep, let's do that. I really like these little squares, you know, because it's not a big space, so you can get a little bit tricky with seed stitch and things that you probably wouldn't have done because you're on a massive piece, where when it's little like this, you can just focus on a tiny little area and just go for it. Okay. I'm just going to, first of all, put the pin away. Okay. I'm just going to sneak up along this edge, and that'll make sure all those little cotton filaments that came out of that there are secure, because I really like them. Just adds a little something unusual. It's got them. Make sure they're secure. Yep, it's got them. All right, now I'll come back across the top of that little motif there just to make sure that's all tucked down nicely, because otherwise you tend to forget too. If you don't do it in stages like I'm doing here, you tend to forget where you've been and what's left. I'll leave that over there, I think. I like how that flower then is behind the medallion. Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, pretty happy with that. I might just head to the center of this. No, I'm not. I've unthreaded, so that's enough. It's getting a bit short. Might get a couple more stitches, but that's probably about it. Head to the center. Okay. Done. Now, I just want to have a little look at some of my beads and start putting together a little tray of elements that might go into it if I'm so inclined. All right, let's have a tidy up. Let's get rid of the neutrals. They can go back into the big pile. It's just there. Don't need those. I need a working tray. This will do. So I've got some spare flowers if I need it. I don't think I'll be doing any yo-yos, or I sort of, maybe this one might work. Oh, I don't mind it, you know. Let's just run a stitch around the and create our yo-yo. And if we don't use it, it doesn't matter. Because, you know, I said before, I felt like it needed something there. Maybe a yo-yo will fix it. So I'm just going to run a little gathering stitch. If you haven't made yo-yos before, they are lovely little elements. If you're lucky enough to get your hands on a vintage one, lucky you. I find they're never the right colour. I've got a huge yo-yo quilt with plenty of yo-yos on it, but they're never the right colour, and then they're never the right size. So I end up just making the element that I need. Plus it's fun. It'll give me something to potentially anchor from down the bottom corner as I drift up towards those flowers. So I can bead up and onto the yo-yo and then across. Don't want to lose that curve there. We'll just get it drawn up. We'll have a little look. You can hear a motorbike. They're all out. It's a beautiful day and everyone just seems to be out. I've been hearing motorbikes cruising. It's just that type of weather for it. So let's draw our little yo-yo together. To take the pressure off the threads, I tend to grab where I started with it and pull both sides out. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but often you need such a big knot to ensure that your yo-yo doesn't you know, come apart as you're drawing it in together, that gathered stitch. So often I'll just find the little knot, pull it as well a little bit out. Well, it is rather sweet. Aren't you sweet? Don't even mind you that way. Oh yeah, we've got to have a yo-yo. I just don't know. I think I like him that way too. I think it's the fabric. There's such a pretty floral little, is that a butterfly? There's a butterfly there. Oh, yep. No, we're going to go that way. I haven't put a yo-yo up that way for ages. It nearly looks like a button. Let's pin him in. I can always have a think about it. I've still got my curve, so I've got my shape. Got another curve going that way. A little bit of squareness over here. And I can still bring in some more little flowers if I want to, you know, drift the story around. Oh, I do like that there as well. Okay, now we are running out of time, so girl, we need to have a look at our beads and things. So let's put those little spares away. When I cut them like that out of fabric from this family, I tend to sort of pack it nearby so it's all there if I need it. These are the pale ones. Look at those. Aren't they perfect? They're a definite. So I'm going to need the cotton. There's my little work tray. Definite. There's my favourite gold beads. That's a definite. Don't even mind those, but no. Now, where are these old pearls? They came out of my grandmother's sewing room, and they've got a real bone colour to them. Those there would also work in that, so they better be included. Just grabbing my tray. Don't think they're in there. No, they're a really unusual colour. This might be them. Yep, that's them. Look at those. See how it's a real yellowy cream? pull them out, it might... What other treasures do we have here? A bit more gold. It might be too much, but I'll pop it in. Got some of these as well. Let's, hang on, hold the phone. What have we got? These are like a sequined. I've never used them. It's like a flower buttony thing. Don't mind them, but it might make it look a bit tacky. Yeah, no, don't like them. Put them away. Okay, I think that's probably it. Oh, hang on, let's have a look at more blue. What's that? Oh, aren't you pretty? Oh, hello. I don't know if it's the right colour, but these feel more green. See? Yeah. Doesn't look right. It's like a peacocky colour. Nope. Like, they're not bad, but they're the wrong blue. Oh, colours are amazing. I know I say it all the time, but colours just intrigue me. Now, this next tray has some more blues in it down this end that might be closer, but no, look at that. They're different. Like it's... no. No. Nope. They're so dark. They're real blue. Nope. I think we've got enough anyway. What else can I see here? Maybe, where's the lid? Maybe some of these little guys. Yeah, definite. Oh gosh, now I'm gonna have something without a lid on it. That's never a good thing. Might have to leave them. There is these underneath as well. Bit of a mix of colours. See, they're not bad either. They might be worth exploring. So all of these little elements that I'm pulling out, all I'm going to do, see there's little stones in there. I don't know, sort of changing the whole theme. All I'm going to do is, like I just never have enough time on camera, is I will bead a cluster of all these things, plus embroider those flowers and work my way through the piece. I think I'll try and keep that curve happening. We've got this curve here, the curve here, even though we've got these straight bits here, that sort of helps tell the story up here. Now the other thing I need to do, so we've got some bits to take to the couch for sewing later, is pick out some cottons that complement. No, too fresh. I need the big container of blue fabric. Let's grab that. Be something in this corner. Just a subtle, it's not a cool blue. It's nearly a grey blue. A dirty blue? Is that such a thing? See, that sort of feels a bit like it could be close. Then maybe even something. Oh, I don't know. Maybe we go completely. No, that sort of feels like it's got a purple in it. It's got a blue in it. too fresh. I think the first one's pretty close, you know, too fresh. All right. Yeah, that's the one. So what was it in the end? 927. Okay. And what else do we need? I think that's pretty close. I think it is very close. So we've got some spare flowers, we've got some gold and cream. Where's our picture, our inspiration that was sent to me? There we go. Oh yeah, I think we've got it. Soft, dainty, like look at all the little girls. To me, that's doilies, just feminine. Okay, all right, let's put that away. That's it, guys. I'm happy with that. Still not sure if my yo-yo will stay like that or flip over. I think it'll stay like that because I spotted that butterfly in there. Look, there's another one there. And now I can't unsee it. Yeah, I just can't unsee both of those butterflies now. Okay, lovely. All right, thank you for joining me. I'm going to toddle off and have a little stitch. Going to need some crochet cotton as well to do a little bit of, you know, running stitches through the back there. Take my little U-Butte sewing package with me. Anything else here that's rattling around on my desk that could be used? No, thimble, that's about it. What about that? Just a little piece. That'd be a bit of fun. Just a little. Oh, that has to go in somewhere. Hold the phone. Hold the horses. What are we going to do? I feel like I could do something there. Just a tiny bit. Is that going to unravel if I snip it? Probably. So why hasn't that unraveled? Go back to this side. So if I stitched that down, I just take that much. Yeah, just adds a little something. Why not? We can get a bit silly and add all these yummy little details. Just makes the piece more interesting because you want them, the more they look into it, the more, you know, you see. So just little bits of braid and little textures. It wants to feel tactile. Well, that's my interpretation of this style of work. Like might even bring the beads from the back here and across. Yeah, there'll be something happen. All right, guys, maybe that gold flower could go there. Oh, who knows? I think the gold would be too much. I'm even looking at those going back and away. Yep, put them away. Oh, here's more beads. Wait. Let's just check in here. Yeah, there's the old girls. There. I'm thinking champagne sequins would be a bit nice too. Chuck them in. All right, everyone. Oh, little flowers. Chuck them in. See what happens? It just, every project becomes a major palaver. Is that the same for you guys? I'm just straightening up this because it'd be nice to leave the room in some form of Corrine hasn't been here and made a mess. Get all these little elements in the center here. And then I put a piece of calico around it. Like, oh, I'd love that myself, but it's not the brief. It's not for me. So these, again, Roxy Creations Volume 2, the Christmas bunting. in the blue and cream. This was the fabric I used. See, I shouldn't need to keep that, but I will. There we go. So that can go back into my cupboard for a rainy day. Beautiful. Now we've got a bit of law and order. I might pop the name of this fabric in the description. I'll have to go hunting for it just in case it's something that catches your eye and you might want to do, you know, a project with it down the track. You'll at least know the name. Look at that. I've just about cleaned up my whole mess. Excellent. All right, guys, look after yourselves. I'm off to stitch this and add some more sparkle and glamour. All right, lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.